Hi there. My name's Tercy Engelhardt, and I'd like to welcome you to the Unreasonably Grateful podcast, titled by the same name as my book. And the subtitle is Living in Grace by Choice. So, again, I always say some version of thank you for being a part of my journey, and thank you for letting me be a part of yours. Podcasts are, a way that we can stay connected. Mine is brief, weekly, little tidbits of wisdom that I've gleaned over my 39-year of journey of recovering from living an addictive lifestyle, dealing with the healing from teenage sexual abuse, and then an eating disorder from 16 years old to 36. And this coming up here is my 75th year, and I'm grateful for every minute of my recovery. And so some of you are listening because you're on your own recovery journey. Maybe you don't consider yourself or haven't been diagnosed as an addict, and that's fine. That's great. Congratulations. Maybe you know yourself as one, but other people don't. And, it always just starts with recognizing, and this particular episode addresses that real freedom is you can or you can't. I could do this or I couldn't do it. And I can freely choose. That's real freedom. Not I have to do this or I must do this or everything's going to fall apart if I don't do this or some version of that. So, anyway, I do offer individual sessions. A session is simply an opportunity for me to sit with you as an elder, listen, and then reflect back to you what I see and hear. An experience has told me, and it's certainly been reflected in the feedback I've gotten from all the people I've had the honor and the privilege to sit with, that what I reflect back is always a more generous, more gracious vision of who you are. I believe I see more of the way you were created than perhaps the habitual way you've become. And it just feels good. And sometimes it gives us the nudge or the opportunity or the encouragement or inspiration to take the next step. The journey of recovering those broken off pieces of yourself is not for the weak hearted. I just finished sitting with somebody and listening to them and recognizing, wow, many of us grew up in a good relationship is one where stuff doesn't come up. And I actually think the opposite, that a great relationship is one where a lot of stuff comes up. And you can sit and hold the space for one another to do that work, to heal, to like tend to those wounded places in ourselves and to learn to love and accept all aspects of ourselves and other people. And that's a really beautiful thing. And it's deep work and it's difficult work and it's a journey. It takes time. So thank you for letting me be a part of your journey. I recently sent out, if you didn't get it, you can go to my website, tercyengelhardt.com, and sign up for my monthly inspirational letter. But I recently sent out an invitation to all of my various mailing lists from all the different aspects of my life, from Cafe Gratitude and Beulah Farm and Eternal Presence and Mountain Cloud Farm, and trying to think what all of them were. And I invited you, if you're interested in this aspect of my life, which is the healing journey, the building of community, the supporting one another, the ongoing opportunity to grow and develop, then you could sign up for that newsletter. What I'm doing is I'm creating a new list of just those people. There's several hundred in it now versus thousands that the letter went to initially, because I don't want to waste anybody's time. I don't want to send unnecessary emails. I don't want to fill your boxes with stuff you don't want. So I sent it out so that those of you that are interested could sign up. And that way there's just a healthier communication avenue between us. So that's possible. And like I said, if you didn't get that letter or that invitation, or it went to spam or junk mail or wherever those things go between me and outer space and you can go to tercyengelhardt.com and sign up for my monthly letter there. And those monthly letters are just like this. It's tidbits to give us a little bit of encouragement. It's like the breadcrumbs and Hansel and Gretel. It's like they lead us along the way. So, anyway, you're welcome to do that. And I'd love to have you join that group if you're not already a part of it. Okay, so this particular episode is called What Do You Depend On? And I've been hearing this nudge for a while now. And yet, when I sit down to record, something else kind of comes in and becomes the more dominant conversation, and I record on that one. But this one's been around for a while. So here's what I want us to look at. There are things that we depend on, and they may even be healthy things that we do. But for those of us who have an addictive tendency, we may not consider ourselves addict or addicted to anything, but we have that tendency. Some of those people are, really into control or order, or some of us just need things to go a particular way in order for us to feel okay, or I don't know, all the ways that that shows up. Busy all the time, whatever. So, what happens is we start to do something, even if it's a healthy choice. And then pretty soon it starts to feel like we can't not do it. And, just like when you exercise, they talk about, do 5 days and 2 days off. And for a lot of people, those 2 days off are difficult because they're managing some inadequacy through the exercise, like whatever that might be. So I want us to really look at what is it that we depend on? And perhaps we've developed an unhealthy dependence and we want to get ourselves back to we could or we couldn't. And either way, we'd be okay. That things can get disrupted, things can fall apart, and we're still okay because what we're actually depending on is something internal. What we're actually depending on is not dependent upon circumstances. And that's the place where we have power. So, one of the ways to reach that place is to start to do the work of breaking the dependence that we have on circumstances or external events or things. So, it might be, what was one I looked at recently? Oh, I know what I did. Okay. So, I started taking supplements. And from time to time, I stopped taking them. And then I see how I feel. And then I can introduce them one at a time and see how I feel. Or maybe you get a blood test and you see the impact of those supplements, whether the investment in those supplements is beneficial for you or not. Or if you start to feel like you can't live without them, whatever them might be. Some people, they have that with what is it, like ibuprofen or something like that. They don't even need it anymore, but they just keep taking it. Or laxatives, or coffee, or tea, or a bath, or whatever it might be. Again, it doesn't have to be an unhealthy thing. Um, but it's something that you have become dependent on. Your well being, your peace of mind, that sense of being centered has become dependent upon it. And there's actually an aspect, how you know that's true is you're kind of afraid to let go of it. You're kind of afraid you'll either gain weight, or you're kind of afraid you'll, what I don't know what it is, break out, or you're kind of afraid you'll get lazy, or you're kind of afraid someone won't like you, or you'll lose a friend, or whatever it is. And only you know what that is. Only you know what those things are that they may have well started out as healthy choices and they've gradually become a dependence. And remember, we're identifying these so we can start to break the tie that those have on us so that we can look at the real thing that there is for us to depend on. The thing that we depend on that doesn't rely on the circumstances of life. Now, how some people get to that is they have a tragic event in their life. And then they realize what they've been depending on isn't dependable, that what they've been dependent upon is fleeting. And it's not enough to hold or help them walk through this difficult time. And so they have to look again at what is it that truly is the source of my power, the source of my strength. One of the ways that I saw this, I think I told you I was super into the World Series because I had a grandson who was, and he got me involved, and I became dependent on a baseball game every day. And one of the things that I loved about watching this World Series is the people, my experience, the people who had a good attitude when they were doing well and then didn't when they weren't doing well, versus those who had a good attitude and it wasn't dependent on them doing well or not, or their team doing well or not. And it's obvious those things stand out. And so that's what I want us to look at is, how is our attitude about the challenges, the difficulties, or those hard times in life? Are we feeling weak or frail or fragile because we've developed a dependence on situations or circumstances or external things going a particular way, versus discovering what's at the core of us that really grounds us in peace, yeah, and confidence and love. So this week, what I want you to do is see if you can't begin to break the dependence on the things that you're depending on. Even if they're healthy, just take a break. You can always go back to them. Notice if you fight for them, there's probably something there. And in that place of some of those things that we've come to depend on or create our dependence on, you may be able to discover there's room for other things that you're ready for now and perhaps you weren't ready for before. So take that on this week. See if we can't break some of the ties to the more superficial dependence of things and leave a little bit of room for us to discover what's really reliable in our life that will support us no matter what the circumstances are. Okay. Have a great week doing that work. I'll be here next week and I look forward to seeing you then.